Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, we'll be learning how we can implement authentication in Next.js from the scratch. Okay, so you might have heard about a lot of libraries like you have Clerk library, you have Auth.js library, you have Castle library to implement authentication and to make your authentication flow easier. Okay, so these libraries provide you features out of the box, whereas the Clerk library actually it provides you the entire component, entire sign-in component, and the sign-up component, and they handle out a lot of things behind the scenes. So we'll be seeing how we can implement a authentication system in Next.js from scratch. Okay, so this is a new series on this channel. So I hope you like this series. Okay, so if you like this video, okay, so let's see if you like this tutorial, just give a thumbs up to this tutorial and subscribe to my channel for such videos in the future. Now, what I will do is, first of all, I will go ahead and create out the latest Next application. Now, before creating a Next.js application, ensure that you have Node.js installed. Now, what is the requirement of Node.js? Now, JavaScript is made to run in a browser only. But if you want to use the power of the V8 JavaScript engine outside the Chrome browser, outside the browser, so you can install Node.js. Now, Node.js is basically the implementation of V8 JavaScript engine, but we'll be not talking in deep about that. Okay, so just download the LTS version of Node.js. Now, if I'll show you my Node.js version, I'll show you my Node.js version. I'll type here node-v second. So node-v. You'll see it's the latest LTS version, that is 22.15.0. Okay, so then what I will do is I'll go ahead for a code editor. We'll choose a code editor. This is visualstudio.com. Okay, because code.visualstudio.com. I prefer this code editor to most of you. You can also go ahead and use Vim or Sublime Text or WebStorm. WebStorm is also a powerful editor. Now, JetBrains has also introduced Juni AI to their latest versions of WebStorm and IntelliJ IDEA and their products. So you can use WebStorm for free for non-commercial use, but Visual Studio is for all types of development, whether you're going for personal projects or your organizational projects, it's meant everyone. So you can download this for Windows and install it as simple as possible. Okay, then what I will do is I will go ahead and choose out my framework, that is Next.js. Now, what is Next.js? Why we will use it? Next.js is the production ready framework built on the top of React.js, because React.js has some limitations. I'm talking about vanilla React. I'm not talking about the React Router framework, because React Router framework is the latest version of Remix. So React Router v7 also supports SSR. You can go ahead and use that, but in this video we'll be using Next.js. Okay, let us click on Get Started and try to initialize a Next.js application. Now you'll have two documentations here, one using app router and another one using pages router. What you should use? I will suggest you to go with the latest one, that is the app router. Now you have the latest version, that is 15.3.1. You can also go ahead with the older versions of Next.js, but I will suggest you to go with the latest features one. Okay, you can use a pages router, there is no problem, but there might be some differences. Okay, now what I will do is, first of all, I have to go here to installation and automatic installation. Now this is provided me npx create next app at the rate latest. But we'll be not doing that. We'll be using pnpm. Now, what is pnpm? Pnpm provides a faster caching than npm or yarn, so you can use this fast disk space efficient package manager pnpm. Okay, so if I click on get started, you have this installation. They have provided a warning. Sometimes Windows Defender may block or executable install PNPM this way. Okay. So they have provided a Windows PowerShell method. Okay, so they are talking about this only. Sometimes Windows Defender might block this type of what you can say, this type of scripts. So what you can do is the simpler way is to go ahead to your terminal and install pnpm like so. Just type in npmi-g pnpm. Now this will install pnpm globally on a system. Okay, so let us just wait. Now PNPM has been installed. I had already installed PNPM, so it has just updated the version. So if I type PNPM-B, so it will show me the version of my PNPM. Okay, so 10.10.10.0.0. Okay, so then what I will do is I will go ahead and create my Next.js application. So I will go inside my folder, and here what I'll do is I'll do a shift right click. I'm on Windows, I'll do a shift right click. On Mac or Linux, you can just do a right click and you will have the open in terminal option. Okay, so here what I will do is I'll type here let us just create a type template dir next authentication. Okay, and what I will do is I will go ahead to this. I'll go inside this next authentication folder and I'll just type in pnpm create space next dash app. Okay, then dot. Now what does it mean? I am telling pnpm to create a next application and providing a dot so that will not create any subfolder inside this next authentication folder. We want all the files should be spread out in this root folder only. I'll just provide a dot. Okay, so now it will ask me a couple of questions. Would you like to use TypeScript? Let us say we'll not use TypeScript for now. Okay, so would you like to use ESLint? Yeah, we'll be using ESLint. And would you like to use Tailwind CSS? Of course. SRC directory, yeah, we can use that SRC directory. Then would you like to use app router? That is quite recommended if you're using the latest version of Next.js. If you're someone who likes the pages router, you can go ahead with the pages router as well. But I'm suggesting to go with the app router only. Then would you like to use TurboPack? Now TurboPack makes your Next.js development server a little bit fast, but Next.js in the production environment is it's has a very good amount of speed. So we can use TurboPack for next step. Of course, we'll be using TurboPack. Would I like to customize the import alias? No, we'll be not customizing the import alias because sometimes when we try to point out to the root folder, we have to do some couple of dot slash before we get access to the root folder. But if we'll type one single @ it will directly point out to the root. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to customize the import alias, I will show you how to do that. Okay, so by default, it will just customize the import alias that is @/star. Now it will start downloading the dependencies. Okay, so now you can see this is going really fast. Okay, so actually this part depends upon your internet speed. Whenever you create a new application with either with npm or npx or yarn or pnpm or any other utility or any other package manager like bun or deno, so you'll need internet speed so that they download the dependencies efficiently. Okay, so let us check out my internet speed. Okay, internet speed test. Now Google has a default internet speed tester. If you'll check my internet speed, it's quite very less. Okay, so it's around 2 to 3 megabits per second, so it's very less. So it might take a couple of minutes for me. Okay, so but if you're having a really fast data like 300 mbps, 400 mbps, so it's like very fast. So I have around 1.77 Mbps download now. Your internet connection is very slow. I know that. Okay, so that's very slow. 2 Mbps is very slow. Okay, so it will take a couple of minutes. Now you can see while I was talking about my internet speed, it has downloaded the dependencies that is next SWC Win32. That is one of the dependency that it has downloaded, and it's now downloading the Next.js. Okay, so now it has the okay, so now it has installed all the packages. Let us wait for some time. Now what I will do is I'll go inside my next authentication folder, do a shift right click, and I will click on this open with code option. Now if this doesn't appear in a context menu, don't worry, go inside the file, go under the file menu in VS Code, open your VS Code from the search bar and go inside the file menu, then click on open folder and open your folder. Just simple. Okay, as simple as possible. Now you can see we have one src directory. Inside that we have a single directory, that is an app directory, and we have a favicon.ico, that is the icon of Versa that we're having. Then we have a globals.css file. Now this has a lot of themes right here. Okay, so this is the like theming, dark and light theme based upon your Windows theme. Okay, then we have this layout.js file, that is the root layout of our NextJS project. I'll remove this JSON font later on, but not now. This is the page.js, which contains a lot of code. So this might seem overwhelming to you because there's a lot of things, but this is nothing but only Tailwind CSS class. There are only Tailwind CSS classes, but nothing else. Okay, so you can see there are a lot of Tailwind classes and a lot of links and images and all, everything. Okay, so what I will do is I will close in my PowerShell. Okay, uh, it's telling me to run this. It's showing me a warning. Let us just run this command to prevent this warning. Okay, so let us just ignore that. Okay, so let's just ignore that appropriate part. Okay, what I can do is, can I just run the pnpm build? Let me just check out. Okay, so pnpm build, can I just run that? Yeah, I can run that pnpm build. So, okay, so that was out of this book. So let me close that. And you'll see a lot of packages here. First is the name of our application, that is Next Authentication. We have our version. We can do is as 1.0.0. Okay, so we can do it as 1.0.0. Now private true, and we have a bunch of scripts. First is the dev script, that is followed by the turbo pack. Next dev turbo pack. Okay, then we have the build script. Now your browser doesn't understand this code, that what is this import going on. Okay, what is this page.js? What is this import image from next slash image? Yeah, it understands the import and export statements, but not quite these things. That this is the class name. Browser can only understand the class attribute because it's the native HTML part. Okay, so it is JSX, basically JavaScript with some extensions. Basically, it's XML. Okay, so you have a custom property, that is class name. Okay, then you have a bunch of things that your browser can't understand. So they have provided a bundler behind the scenes which will convert your entire code into browser bundles, into JavaScript bundles. Okay, so if I'll see, this is my build folder. Okay, so it has generated a build folder. So if I will go ahead and open my terminal from here, if I'll open my terminal from here, you can see it has generated a build, production build. Now in the production server, obviously you will only get this build part. You have this static, then chunks, then you have a lot of files here. So obviously you will be only getting this build folder, not the entire source code of your application. Okay, and don't put your any of your code inside the public folder. That code will be publicly accessible. Don't put any sensitive files which contains your like merchant IDs or in files. You must know that. Okay, if you are developing a large scale application. Okay, so now what I will do is I will go ahead and run npm run dev. Now notice that if I'll delete this next.txt folder, nothing will happen. No error will be raised. Rather, it will create the .next folder again. Okay, so you can see it has again created the actually this is the development part. So we have not generated the production build yet. Okay, so I have actually typed here npm run dev, but we're using pnpm, so let us just go ahead with pnpm dev, and after running pnpm dev, it will work similarly only. Okay, so you have static chunks and you have a lot of files here. Okay, but the build part will contain like the build folder and this development dot text folder that are quite different. Some of the files are excluded in the build directory. So if I'll show you, only the static part is being served, not your entire, like not your entire application. Only the static part is being built up by the server. Now this is your default Next.js home application homepage. But what I'll do is let us wait. Okay. Now what I will do is I will just remove the default theme part. I'll just remove this theme part from here. So just remove the theme part. If I'll save, you can see we have got nothing. We had a logo here, but it's not visible because it was white logo. Now what I can do is I can remove this font from here. Okay, this is okay. We'll just remove the font from here. But one second. I have to uplift my laptop a little bit because it's getting hot. Okay, so now what I will do is I will add another font that is enter next slash font slash Google, and let me just configure enter font here. Font enter is equal to call the enter function and provided the subsets. We have Latin. Okay, so I'll choose my enter font. Okay, so if I browse the documentation of Next.js, we will have something called images and fonts. Okay, so optimizing fonts, the next fonts, you can read about the next font from here. Okay, so you can import it from the next slash font slash local or font slash Google. Okay, you can call this like something like this subsets Latin. Okay, now what I will do is I will go ahead and remove everything from here. Okay, I'll just provide one dollar sign and then some curly braces and just provide in here enter dot class name. Now this wait a second, enter dot class name. Okay. Now this anti-aliased, what this will do is it will provide a smoothing to your font that you're providing to the Next.js application. Now you'll have enter font. Okay, you might see some slight changes in the font before and after. You can see the slight changes in the font. Now what I'll do is go inside the page.js, remove everything. Okay, I'll remove everything and just add a simple sample div. Okay, and I'll just write a class name. Now to make this happen, like if I type in class and automatically it will suggest a class name. If you want this to happen, you have to do enable one setting that is, let us say, I think I should type here snippets. Okay, snippets. Let's scroll down. Wait a second. I need to see where is not snippets actually. I'm just forgetting the setting. If I'll open my settings.json, let me see. Okay, so I have to type here in the settings, you have to type emmet. Now, after typing emmet, you'll have this emmet include languages. Just add this key and value. In the item part, write JavaScript, and in the value part, write JavaScript React. Now, what this can do is it will just automatically suggest you like class name, HTML for, and many more things that are included with the JavaScript yet or the JSS syntax. But this can cause some problems while you're working with vanilla JavaScript as well. Okay, so you can just enable it temporarily. If you want to enable it temporarily, what you have to do is you have to just select this. You can see select language mode and type in your JavaScript JSX, JavaScript React. Okay, you can choose this, but you have to do this with each and every file you are working on if you want the JSX syntax to work. But that was a permanent setting that you can do. Like here inside class name, let me just provide min h screen so that we provide this a minimum height of the screen. Okay, so this is my screen height. I'll be providing that as the minimum height. Okay, so there's a difference between minimum and maximum height. Like with maximum height, you will not get any scroll bar until and unless your content overflows that height. But in min height, what will happen is your content just means you'll have a scroll bar all the time, even if your content is not overflowing throughout the screen. Okay, so now min at screen, flex, item center, justify center. Now what this will do is it will bring in all the objects to the center of the screen. If you're enabling this, if you're writing this class, if you're writing this classes, what it will do is it will bring in all the objects to the center of the screen. Now I'll type on h1 class name, that is text, let us say for Excel, font semi bold and underline. Okay, NextJS authentication tutorial. Okay, NextJS authentication tutorial. Now you can see this is appearing like this. I can also wait a second. Let me try another font. Actually, this is not looking good to me. Let's use this Garna font. Okay, so if I'll use the color font, you can see it's looking actually better. This font is actually looking better. So you can use this font. Okay, now what I have to do is I can change the title and description of my application like home, then Next.js authentication. Okay, Next.js authentication. Now this is a rubbish title. Okay, authentication tutorial using Next.js. Okay, so authentication. Now this will be the meta description. If I'll show you, this will be the meta description for our application. You will see, where is the meta description? I cannot find the meta description right. Where is the meta description? Yeah, right here. After the title, you can see meta name description, authentication tutorial using Next.js. You can do a bunch of things also with the metadata. If you want to see what you can do with the metadata of your application, you can see this is metadata. Generated metadata. Now this is something we call the dynamic metadata. Okay, whenever you are having some dynamic routes and you want to generate the metadata dynamically, you can follow this step. Okay, and you have a lot of things also, favicons. Okay, favicon.ico, and if you provide this favicon.ico, it will automatically be added to your website icon as your website icon. And so you have this favicon.ico. Okay, and then what can I do is I can go ahead and add the shared scene UI. Okay, I can add the shared scene UI, but we'll be doing these things slowly. But we'll be doing these things slowly in order to understand the authentication flow inside our application. Okay, I have a bunch of plannings like how to do that. Okay, so let us just end this video here and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you guys for watching this video and I will see you next week.